Now, as we begin to round up, we'll end this interview without my allowing you to speak to the issues around your political aspirations. I know that some years ago you ran for governorship for Kogi State in Nigeria. Can you tell us what motivated you to get into that race, and what was your experience like? Again, people say politics is dirty. How did you cope in that space?
All right, thank you once again. Actually, like I stated, as regards the brain behind the foundation, which I gave a biblical background. Likewise, the area of politics. You see, the NGO, it stands as an advocative platform. But beyond you advocating, because you are called on TV or called on radio, come and speak, advocate, talk to government, do this, do that. Beyond that, I came to a point and I said, if we don't get into the system, then the system will continue to stay around and be talking to the system that already has a built-up ideology that cannot just change overnight. So, and as I was growing up, I read Acts 7:17 over and over again. He said, he talked about the children of Israelites, whom he said he has made Moses the savior to those people at that time. And he said, and when they were trying to cry, he said, no, I have come down to rescue them. Now I come, I send you. So I kept hearing, I send you, I send you. Like, wow, this is no longer the issue of we are waiting for somebody somewhere that we don't even know exists, that God is going. No, God says he's sending you. And in Revelation 17:17, he said, I have placed my plans in your heart to fulfill my purpose. So whatever God passes through your heart is not actually your initiation. Whatever love to idea here, he said, this, the author of this is this. No, you didn't author it because you didn't create yourself. God really positioned those thoughts, those ideas that are lofty, that are great, that are indelible now in you. So he said, I have placed them here to fulfill my purpose. So it means when God was allowing me to digest that Acts 7:17 as regards who will go and rescue the people, he was actually telling me that idea is not my own, it's his own. So that was how I had to now position. I said, well, I've been advocating for over quite some time now. It is time for the believers, because the solution of the society is actually the church. And until the church wakes up, nothing is going to happen. And we saw a glimpse, when I say a glimpse, or a tidbit of it in 2023, when the church arose, you could see that the foundations of the nation was shaking. And the reason why there could not be a total control takeover was because what was built over 30 years cannot be taken over overnight. So that shaking has to be consistent for darkness to disappear from the face of the earth. So that's the background of how I came into politics. And of course, before that time, I built my life around politicians, get to study how Nigerian politics is being played quietly. People see me in church, but they don't know what's going on. I could travel, attend political meetings and all of that. So I was studying the environment until at, I think, 2015, Prince Abubakar Audu, the former governor of Kogi State, he called me just and said he has heard a lot of things I do at the background, advocate for and all of that. He wants me to be part of his team in Kogi State to deliver them in 2015 so that he will hand over. I remember him saying that, you hand over to a younger generation. And immediately he said that. I just told myself, you are the one. I don't know how it's going to happen, but as this man is leaving the stage, he's going to just announce you as his successor. But somehow, I became his media handler and all of that. But fortunately, we won the election, but we couldn't enter the office. So he died at the doorpost and all. So that was the genesis of how this young man came there. Then, but 2019, I could just see that the space is now, you've looked up to Goodluck Jonathan, you've looked up to Prince Abubakar Audu. I think this is now time for you to be able to, it is now time for you to be able to, get yourself focused. So, but before I could get in, I had to still do consultation with people like General Dogoyaro, General Shagaya, These are my fathers that I've worked with, sometimes, and you could see their zeal and say, look, this young man have to enter into these shoes now. Because after Audu left, I couldn't just see who I could go and back up and say, okay, I could just see myself, falling into the same, platform. And so when I got that go ahead, then that was how people like T.Y. Danjuma and all of that, I had to get their permission to be able to delve into it. And so I went in with full force. But at a point, because every level of my life, I tend to check where does God want me to stop here? It's not just enough that the pressure was coming from within and all of that. So at every point of that race, even when I was chosen among the 3 out of the 40 aspirants, by the Elders Council, and 2 of the other ones from APC and PDP couldn't even make it at their primaries. So I had every opportunity to be the only last man standing. But yet I could still check and said, wait, just hold on and check. So we checked and discovered the guy for the PDP, which is Engineer Wada. We are going to be, the same ancestral father is going to be laying hands on us. So spiritually, it wasn't correct for me. So because I'm not in a haste to lead, I don't even need to be governor to make impact in Kogi State. But at that point, I sensed that was where I was supposed to stop. And when I stopped, it looked like the whole world was coming down. Why did you do that? But you guys weren't there when I said I was going to take up the challenge. And even when I took up the challenge, you guys were all saying, you're already a dead man. You're not coming back alive and all that. But having gotten to this stage, now everybody wants you to push. I say, no, it's not the crowd that brought me here. There's a voice that kept talking to me. So now I sense that same voice saying, hold on. This is where I want to for now. And by the grace of God, that singular attempt now, I will say I am now one of the stakeholders, one of those that have to be consulted in Kogi State for you to be able to take up any political, position by the grace of God. And beyond Kogi State, we are looking at Nigeria, because that's where the voice was talking about. I said, I have sent you to Nigeria. Now I send you. Talking about Nigeria. So Nigeria is actually our focus. Kogi is just a stepping stone to that high. So that's just like a summary of my political journey. And finally, about that, has the journey been smooth? No, it wasn't smooth. At some point, you'll be threatened. At some point, you are given 500 million to just announce yourself that you are stepping down, so that this other guy, you say you are supporting, and I'll tell myself how. If all these years I didn't take up jobs that could give me millions, why should it be now? Or if I take up this 500 million and I die the next moment, do you know what has kept me? I travel like every other day. I'm on the road, in the air, everywhere, and no accident, no sickness, nothing. I think it's ordinary. No, there's a covenant. So if I dare do that, I could break the edge and the serpent could bite. And so we stood our ground. So there are points of you being told you will die. There are points where they are told to consult mediums. At some point, they told me, the Witches and Wizards Association called my phone number and told me they know I'm chosen at the time, but I need to do X, Y, Z. And I say, wow. So without that proper foundation, I would have been gone. And at some point too, you'll be in your hotel room and there are ladies who come and they are knocking at your door. They actually send them to your room. I don't know if you get, because you're having political meetings and most of the meetings are in the night. So they send them to different rooms. They come into my room, but I didn't invite you and all of that. So those are some of the challenges, moral-wise, financial inducement, witchcraft, and all of those things. But by the grace of God, with the foundation we had, we are always overcomers.
Great. Yeah, great. Very, very interesting conversation there. And so many great things you said. But I just want to highlight the God factor in all of the things that you said, how God led you each of the way, and how at the point where, as if you are going to arrive and you had God clearly telling you to stop. These are very key principles of the Christian faith, of our relationship as Christians with God, which we need to live by. The book of Romans talks about those who are led by the Spirit of God. They are actually the sons of God. So as we round up, let's take your your final thoughts. You're speaking to the global community.
Mm.
What do you have to say to us at this point in time?
Well, my final thoughts to the global world is that they should just watch out for Nigeria, because Nigeria is actually the trigger point for global transformation.
Mm.
I don't know how God is going to do it, and I don't know when. But like Martin Luther spoke to the nation of America, that he foresaw a time when leadership position would not be determined by parochial party system, nor ethnic sentiment, but by the content of one's character and what the individual can deliver. I see same happening to Nigeria, that this nation is going to produce leaders that are selfless, leaders that are not selfish, leaders that will position themselves, and it will look like a dream. Things that looked impossible will become possible. That's why some of us have no idea. We have no iota of doubt that Nigeria is going to become a great state and a great economy, and one of the world powers that God will use to refocus the entire globe, because all of us know that the globe right now is very confused, and we have no option but to trust God to position ourselves for Him to use us to restore humanity back to themselves. But Nigeria is going to be at the center of this transformation. Once again, I want to thank the leadership of this organization for having me, and I want to plead with us, let's not give up on this nation. The ideology of jackparing, if it's to jackpar, I think many years ago I should have done that. But because God spoke about this nation, just like He spoke to Bethlehem, just unfortunately, Elimelech and his family refused to listen. They chose to go for the temporal, but they never came back alive. Nigeria is like that Bethlehem, more than enough resources that we know we have here. All we just need is the correct leadership that will be positioned to change things for the better. It is not because the world is coming to an end that we are in this suffering. The suffering is caused by bad leadership. There's nothing more than that, because the Bible makes us to understand that the earth is the Lord's and its fullness thereof. It says, silver and gold are mine. If silver and gold are God's, why are God's people not having access to same? I grew up to understand that when a father is living, he hands over his properties to his children. So, but why is God this rich and the church is, oh, I won't want to go into that. But the truth of the matter is, as many that have understanding of the times and position themselves and know what to do at this time, God will use these little numbers, these infinitesimal numbers, to change the course of this nation, and the church will be in for a great revival. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sunday Bala Oma, CEO, Sunday Bala Oma Foundation. We've had a very engaging conversation today, and you've highlighted so many things, and we thank God for the impact that He's using you to do, not only in our national space, but also globally. We look forward to having another conversation with you. Thank you so much for being with us today on Verity Talks. We look forward to meeting on another episode. God bless you. Thank you for joining us in today's episode of Verity Talks. Please don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. See you again on the next episode of Verity Talks. Thank you, and God bless.